So, 1st of January 2021, been an interesting 12 months. This is definitely a good time for new beginnings. All right, so if you've followed any of the stuff that I've done over the years, you'll know that I am primarily a portrait photographer, but going back a little while now, in fact, I can't remember how long ago it was, I kind of made a promise that I was going to do a landscape project. Not because I wanted to be, the greatest landscape photographer, far from it. It was purely something for me to do that was just a little bit different, something for me, so that I could have some pictures on the wall in our house that I'd done. Because ordinarily you wouldn't put portraits of other people on your walls, although I have done that now with some of the veterans that I've photographed. But anyway, long story short, the project didn't kind of happen. I think I did one picture. But now that we've moved to Devon, new year, new beginnings, and I know it's only another day, I've got no excuse. You know what I mean? I've got no excuse. If there's one thing that last year has taught me, with all this COVID-19 stuff and the restrictions we've all had to live under, one thing it showed me as a portrait photographer is that what you do day to day can very suddenly stop. Now, I'm kind of fortunate that I do have other things that I do within the business, the tutorials, the online stuff, the writing the books, and so on and so forth. But if I only survived by taking portraits, like lots of my friends and colleagues around the world, I'd have been struggling. So it kind of made me realise that I need to do something else. Now, I did do like a model airplane project where I was photographing, building them first of all, then photographing model aircraft, and that was great. Great escapism during the restrictions and not being able to go out and do things. It was great for here, a real bit of escapism. But with things still kind of looming over us, I thought now would be a good time for me to start a new project, the landscape project. But the thing is that I'm going to do different this time is I'm not going to put a time frame on it. Whereas last time I kind of said that every week I'll be out doing stuff. Follow along on the journey. I'll do a new video every week. You can't make those promises because things get in the way. But what I will say is, do follow along on the journey, because I am going to be doing stuff on a regular basis. I don't know how regular, but it's going to be regular. Now, you're going to see me go from, I hope you're going to see me go from being really bad at landscapes to getting kind of good, okay, kind of good. You're going to see all the mistakes. That's the idea behind this. See all the mistakes, see all the successes, all the happy accidents. But if you're somebody who does landscapes, I am completely open to suggestions and ideas. Now, I know Nigel Danson. I've also been watching loads of his videos, so I'm absorbing all the stuff because I love Nigel's work. And I love his open and the way he's so honest about what he does. And also Thomas Heaton. So I've been absorbing lots and lots of stuff there. My friend Steve Healy gave me a book all about Devon, where to go to take photos. So Steve, I will be going through that, ticking off each location. But join me on the journey, join me on the journey of hopefully going from zero, not quite to hero. And getting better. But I'm in my back garden now. My house is literally just a short walk across this field, about a minute's walk that way to my house. So this kind of view here, this is my back garden. And this tree is what I'm going to photograph. And I love it. I love this tree, the fact that it's just so old and gnarly, and it's got a real character, a real spooky kind of character about it. And I just thought it would be great with this landscape project if I could maybe photograph this tree throughout the seasons. I mean, there's no excuse really when you think I just live just there, just at the back of there. So I thought it'd be great to do that. However, me being the ultimate novice landscape photographer, mainly taking portraits, I need to take a good shot of it to start off with. So that's what I've come out for tonight. What time is it now? I don't know, it's about 3:30, something like that. Sunset's maybe in about an hour, something like that. It's very cloudy, don't know what it's going to be like, but I guess that is part of being a landscape photographer, isn't it? You kind of just roll with it and just see what happens. But yeah, I'm just going to try and see what I can do to get a decent shot of this. I mean, it's really flat lighting at the minute, nothing spectacular. But I guess if anything, if I get anything from this little trip this evening, it's to kind of get my composition right for when I do get better light, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna have a bit of a wander around, see what I can kind of get in the camera. I'm gonna use a 16 to 35 mil, something like that. Get nice and low, a bit of drama, just see what I come up with, I guess. I thought it might be a good idea just to try something with the mobile phone first of all, before I get everything out of my bag, off my back on this wet ground. So I thought I'd just kind of see what kind of composition I can get if I go fairly wide on this iPhone here, just to see what it gives me. But I'm kind of liking it here, for a photo from here, because way in the distance over there, you've got the rolling hills and there's a little bit of mist in the background as well. So talking about layers, I don't know, I've kind of watched so many videos by Nigel Danson and Thomas Heaton and such, talking about layers in landscape photography. And there's lots of layers over there. So maybe here's going to be a good spot, but I think the sun, well, I don't think, I know, it's going to sort of set in the west, which is kind of over there. But there's absolutely no break in the clouds whatsoever. So don't really know if we're going to get much, but I think that's a good place just there. So there you go. Hope, stick with me. Let's just see what happens, you know? But yeah, any advice you've got, any tips, any tricks, any kit you recommend, although I kind of don't want to go out buying loads of kit, I think I've got enough. But anything that you recommend, I'm all ears, all right? So thank you.